understatement. Our next speaker specializes in helping network marketers increase their duplication faster and with less frustration. He is a best-selling author, in-demand speaker, top social media power influencer, philanthropist, and founder and CEO of, this might give it away as to who it is, the Higdon Group, a world-class leader in the sales and training industry, featured on the Inc. 5000 as one of America's fastest growing companies. He has shared the stage with world-renowned thought leaders, including Tony Robbins, Rachel Hollis, Les Brown, Brendan Burchard, Robert Kiyosaki, Bob Proctor, Gary Vaynerchuk, known as Gary V, of course, Grant Cardone, a hero of mine, Magic Johnson, and many more. As the former #1 income earner in a network marketing company, he knows what it takes to get results. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to please welcome Mr. Ray Higdon.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you so much for joining me, Ray. I really, really, really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. And how's everyone doing today? Enjoying it? Rocking it out? Looks like a lot of people on. That's awesome. And so, yeah, I'm excited to be on here. And, you know, I talked with, Cheryl to be on here. We didn't have a whole lot of conversation on what to cover, but I can kind of guess that it's, how to maybe stay inspired and what to do to be growing your business during these, kind of wild times that we're in. And so I'm excited to share and hopefully help some people out.
Awesome. I'm excited.
All right. Awesome. So, hey, what's up, Cheryl? How are you?
Oh, I wanted to come on and say thank you so much, Ray. Appreciate it. That would be great.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, so I think I'll start just, I don't want to assume that, and I see some rank makers on here. What's up? What's happening? And so I don't want to assume people know who I am or anything like that. But I think one thing that's really important that I've been sharing more about my story than I have in the past is the fact that my career, everything that we've done was really birthed out of crisis, in that I was in real estate here in the state of Florida from 2004 until when it stopped working, like 2008, 2009. And so when the crash, the real estate crash of 2008 happened, I was wiped out. And I do mean wiped out. Every dime I'd ever made, every dime I'd ever saved, I had wiped out my 401k, wiped out my IRA that I'd had since I was 18 years old, sold my savings bonds that my dad had given me, sold furniture. Despite all that, still went through foreclosure, was being chased by bill collectors, was over $1 million in debt because I had leveraged my home. I had leveraged some of the different investments that I had. So I owed over $1 million. And on top of that, I did go through a divorce, and at one point was sleeping on my buddy's couch. And so I'm very familiar with tough times. I'm familiar when you don't know how you're going to pay for groceries. I'm very familiar with that, scenario. And so, I want you to understand that, yes, we are in a very weird time right now, but it's not the time to quit. It's not the time to not show up. It's not the time to think that, if you do have something to offer that would help other people, it's the time to step up and show some leadership. And so, that since those times, and I want you to really understand that it was a crisis, because every single person I knew was also broke, was also lost everything, at that point in time, was also almost everyone I knew was in foreclosure. I mean, it was, it was a bad scenario. And I don't know if you were around, if you're on here, and I don't know if you were building a business back in 2008, 2009, but it was very, very tough times, especially for those of us in real estate. No one was hiring. My credit was shot. I had no more money, and I really didn't know what I was going to do. And so I'm very, very grateful for my good friend, Chris, who reached out to me and took advantage of me and told me about his network marketing company back in 2009. Because, with no money, with no credit, with no one hiring, I don't know what else I would have done. And so for me, and I don't know if this is all network marketing specific as far as this, event you guys are doing today or not. But I can just tell you that for me, it saved me. I mean, it helped me big time. And so I got involved and I decided I was going to make this thing happen no matter what. And to be honest, I really didn't want to do network marketing because I had tried it in the past and I'd had some bad experiences with upline. I'd had some bad experiences with companies, and I really didn't want to do it. But what were my options? I mean, I really didn't have many options. And so, and I will tell you, there are people in that exact scenario right now. What are we looking at here? We're looking at people that have, millions of people have lost their job and nobody's hiring. I mean, no one, right? No one's hiring. They are quarantined. They legally have to stay home, right? Everyone does. And so if you look at the Google trends of work from home or how to make money from home, it's now like 100 times larger than what it used to be. And so, there's always a lot of people looking to make money from home and work from home, but it's actually 100x of what it used to be. If you just look at what people are typing into Google and they're trying to figure this out. And so if you have a way to help them, whether it's network marketing or you have some other way, whatever that way is, then I definitely suggest that you open your mouth and at least give them a shot, just like my buddy did for me, right? I'm so grateful. Here it is 11 years later. And I've thanked this dude on almost every speech I've ever given. Think about that. You could have someone thanking you every time they talk in front of a crowd for the next 11 years. That's what I do for my buddy Chris. And so why not? Why not have someone thanking you like that? And there's people that really need it. And I really do think people are underestimating. I don't think people are underestimating the virus. I guess some people are, right? I think most are underestimating the financial ramifications of what's happening right now. And I know very, very smart people that have laid off over 100 people. The largest Marriott in the world Marriott at Orlando, they were at 6% occupancy, I think like a week and a half ago. So they just closed their doors, sent everyone home, thousands of employees. And so the financial ramifications are very, very substantial already. And it's only, unfortunately, going to get worse. So if you have a way to help people make more money from home while we're legally required to stay home, that's probably a good idea that you open your mouth. Now, not everyone is looking for a solution. Some people think the government's going to bail them out. Some people think that something outside of them is going to happen that's going to help them. And those are the people that typically just tumble through life and life is unfair. And, they take their licks and complain and until the next thing, right? Some people do want to, take control, do want to find a solution. And you guys have the ability to tell them about that solution. And so I hope you really get that, because there are some people that think, well, I don't want to take advantage of people. Well, if you're so worried about how you look and how you might be taken advantage of someone, then you're going to miss all the people that are praying for a solution, praying for it. And so understand there are people that don't know what to do unless they find something like what it is that you do. And so you gotta understand that, understand there are people praying that someone just like you comes into their life and points them in the right direction. And so you gotta admit, you gotta have that, because that was my story. That's how I was, that's how my entire career was built. And so I want to share with you first, we talked a little bit about perspective, and I'll share a couple more minutes of my story here. And then I'll get into actual strategy. Okay, how do you do this? Now that if you have a proper perspective that people are looking and people are praying for a solution to help them make more money from home, then how do you actually do it? How do you do it in a powerful way that isn't coming across as sharky or slimy or weird or anything like that? And so I want to share that with you. Now, in that company, that I want to just remind you, I joined when I was in foreclosure, when I was dead broke, chased by bill collectors, and everything was wiped out, I did go on to become the #1 income earner of that company, made millions of dollars. In 2016, we retired from actively building a network marketing business, and now we only coach and train. And so we coach and train network marketers on how to increase duplication, reduce frustration, generate leads, and become top earners in their company. My private community, Rank Makers, which I see a few of you on here, we started it 2.5 years ago. And in the last 2 years, we've helped network marketers bring in 166,000 new customers, 36,000 new reps, and achieve over 7,600 rank advances. So it is very much about production. It's not about impressing people with how smart we are. It's about getting people into production and getting them to impact more people. And that's what we love to do. We love what we do. We love our rank maker community, and we love to help this profession, especially right now when it's such a powerful time that leadership is needed. And we want to show you exactly how to do that. And so how to do it. So right now, there is that worry, right, of taking advantage of people. But there's also the knowledge that you may have now of people wanting to make money from home, right? They're legally required. How do we help them out? And so you need to be reaching out to people. And I'm going to share with you a couple scripts. I'll probably on here share with you 2 scripts that I think will really help you. And these are scripts that I knew would work, but we've actually been testing them with our rank makers for the last 2 weeks. And we have people that have literally been in network marketing for years that are having career months. We have people that have never recruited anyone that are using these scripts, and they're now recruiting people. And so it's really cool. We know that it works. And so I want to share with you exactly what is working right now. It's very simple. And that is a key of network marketing. If it isn't simple, it shouldn't be taught, because it's not what you can do. It's what your team of 100,000 people could do, or 10,000 or 100 or whatever. And if you have to have a massive amount of influence, a college degree, or some fancy brand or something to follow the strategies you're learning, then that's not good strategies for network marketing. Now, other things, fine. Like I've had like real estate people. I've had real estate people, insurance people, and a few other categories of people that have had me like coach them. And the difference between me coaching a realtor. So if I'm coaching a realtor, that realtor isn't marketing in a way to make other people believe they can be a realtor. They're just selling houses, right? They're building their list, they're building their influence, they're attracting leads, and they're getting people in front of houses. They're not trying to convince everyone else that they can also do what they do. So that's different. And so a lot of the standard branding and marketing strategies that you hear that are from outside the network marketing profession don't work on the inside. They're not duplicatable. And so you have to always think about that. Can someone do this, whether they have a high school degree, whether they are a doctor, or whether they have some major influence or not? And if they can't, then it's not good to be taught inside this profession. Okay. And so one thing you have to understand is the crisis. It's on everyone's mind. So you can't reach out to people and not address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is what we're all going through. We're all going through the same thing. And this past week I was on 31, 32 Zooms just like this. And I did groups in Italy and Portugal and France and England, Ireland, Singapore, Peru the other night, Thursday night. And so like I'm on these things all the time. We're all dealing with the same thing, man. People are worried, people are scared. You got the virus, got the quarantine. It's crazy times. So when you're reaching out to people, you do need to bring that up, right? Because it'd be strange not to, because it's on everyone's mind. It's the elephant in the room. And so, but there's a good way, and there's a too hard of a way. All right. So I always try to make things simple. I try to make things easy. And so if you're reaching out and you're asking someone, like if you're reaching out to someone, whether you know them, don't know them, and you're saying, hey, how's the crisis affected you? Well, that may sound like a good idea because, you're kind of establishing some rapport there or something like that. It's actually not a good idea because you're going down a path that is very hard to navigate and you don't know what the answer is going to be. And so if you're reaching out to someone and saying, hey, how's the crisis affected you? Well, they could say, well, I've lost my job. I'm out of money. My kids are hungry. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. One of my friends died. And okay, where do you go from there? Do you say, hey, I got, I got a solution for you? That seems arguably insensitive, maybe a little shady, maybe a little slimy. That can definitely easily be translated to taking advantage of them. And so you want a way to address the crisis without going down a tricky path. And so what we've come up with is a very simple script. And this script should go in front of any reach out that you do. So if you're following up with someone, if you're reaching out to someone you don't know, someone you've talked to in the past, someone you haven't talked to in the past, a teammate that has fallen off, right? Any kind of reach out, I would include this right here, okay? And so the tiny script, and maybe someone can type it in because it's very, very short, is with what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home-based business, okay? Or you can say home business, that probably sounds a little better, right? With what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home business, okay? That's a period. That's not a question, that's a statement, okay? With what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home business. Now, why would we word it that way, okay? Why would we word it that way? Well, I want you to understand that wherever you live, the top rated waitress, waiter, bartender, event planner, hotel manager, hostess, personal trainer, we can go on and on and on. They're all out of jobs, okay? They're either out of jobs or they're at home not working. Now, I specifically said the highest rated, the best, okay? The best, all right? Because those are producers, and the producers in society like to produce, right? They are missing, lots of people missing social interaction, but the producers specifically miss producing. They miss hustle and bustle. They miss handling a big, waiter, waitress, handling a big table, event planner, dealing with multiple groups at the same time, right? They miss that energy because now we're just like Netflix and, the kids hitting you with a Barbie doll, right? And so like producers miss producing. So you saying I'm focused and productive in my home business, it actually perks their ears. The mind of the producer will pay attention to that and be, wait a minute, man, I wish I was focused and productive. I'm not productive at all. I missed that. Now, does everyone in society want to be productive? Of course not. Of course not. There are many people that are, they don't care about producing. Those aren't typically the greatest people to get into your business anyway. So non-producers will hear that script and they will hear you as addressing the crisis, which is required for reach out right now, but it won't really entice them. It won't really turn them on, right? Producers will be turned on. I believe, and I believe this all of my heart, everything, all of my experience, okay? I believe you will see the biggest wave of top income earners come into network marketing in these next 60 days, right? And you could even count the last 2 weeks. From the last 2 weeks to the next 60 days, I believe the largest income earners in network marketing history will be coming on board during this cycle. I really, really do. Because, if you are a high producer, you usually are focused and you got your eyes forward and you're like, you want to be the best waiter, the best waitress, the best bartender, the best personal trainer, the best hotel manager. And you're not looking around at other opportunities. These are the people that would have been hard for you to recruit 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Would have been hard. Why? Because they feel good in their production. And so that part of their soul, that part of their personality was filled, right? I produce. So why would I look at something else? That's a distraction. You're now looking at the highest producers in society in those service-based industries, typically have to have a good personality, typically have to be a hard worker, typically have to hustle bustle, right? So you're looking at some of the finest qualities of anyone you would ever want in your organization, except right now, there's millions of them displaced, millions of them without a job, millions of them looking for production. What are they going to do? You think they're going to invent some belt buckle and go on Shark Tank? That ain't happening. You think they're going to, do they have some humongous 401k IRA that they're just going to live off? No, they don't, right? They don't. I'm telling you, Most people, they realized, and it's unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate. Most people realize how financially fragile they were right now. Okay. Your financial fragility is showing. And so you have all of these people with pent up frustration because they used to produce, that are looking for an avenue. They're looking for something to produce on. And it's up to you, if you get in front of them and just tell them about it. They are looking for production. They don't know what to do. They're cleaning the hell out of the house. They're crafting up all kinds of stuff for the kids, but they really miss the pure, energetic satisfaction of producing, like a work product, that sort of thing, whether it's making calls or social media or whatever. So I really do believe you're going to see the largest people, the largest income earners. I don't think there's ever been a wave like this. There has never been a wave of people that were so displaced and so looking for production that will roll into network marketing like never before, ever. It's crazy. It's crazy. And so when you say that, with what's going on in Focus and Productive in my home business, that's going to perk their ears. They're going to be interested in that. Ooh, man, let me find that out. What are you talking about? Like, that intrigues them. Okay. And so I'm going to give you, I'll give you 2 different scripts that I think will cover a lot of your scenarios. All right. And so, one, reaching out to people that you know, but maybe never asked, right? You know them, you've known them for a while, warm market, but you've never actually reached out to them. And so I would start right with that. And a lot of people will ask, well, is this a voicemail? Is this a call? Is it a text? Is it a Facebook message? Like, what is this communication? Here's my take, all right? Unless I know that the person prefers a certain medium, okay? Like, if I know they prefer me to call, then you need to call. If I know that they prefer a voice message, then I'll send a voice message. In the absence of understanding of preference, you need to type it out, okay? So a lot of times people will say, oh, I always send a voice message. I'm like, oh, cool, well, that's easy for you. See, people that I don't know that send me voice messages, I hate them. I hate their guts. Because I can read 50 messages in the same time I can listen to your 59-second message. Hate it. Now, if we know each other, if we friends, right, we cool, right, and we send stuff back and forth all the time, then fine, sure, voice message it up all day. But if you don't know that about me, you assume that you can take a full minute of my time. Are you crazy? And that's how producers are, man. I'm telling you. And I actually think that's how most people are. If you don't know their preference, then I would not assume that you just, I'm just going to talk because it's easy for me. Yeah, it's easy for you. But again, I can read 50 texts, 50 Facebook messages in the same time I'm listening to, hello, how are you today, Ray? I hope things are going well. I'm just like, you couldn't type that? Couldn't type that. You're too busy. Too busy staying at home. Couldn't type it. You're not driving, right? Couldn't type it? Couldn't type it. All right, we good. And so don't assume that they are totes cool with your voice messages. I'm telling you, don't like it. I punish those people. So if someone I don't know sends me a voice message, I'm gonna check it 2 days later, just for spite, all right, for making me right? You type something, I can read it 2 seconds, right? So I'm just telling you how I'm telling you how I operate, but it's also how a lot of people operate. And so don't assume. But if you know that if it would be weird for you to text your friend this because you guys usually talk on the phone, then pick up the phone, call them, okay? So this is the person you know, warm market, friends, family members, former coworkers or existing coworkers, whatever. And so with what's going on in Focus and Productive my home business, listen, I realize I've never told you what I actually do for a home business. And I wanted to reach out to you to just see if you were open to looking at what I do to make extra money from home. If you are, great. If not, no big deal. Okay. If you are, great. If not, no big deal. And so the whole thing, and I know I say a little fast here. Okay. So with what's going on, okay, step 1, with what's going on in Focus and Productive and home-based business. Part 2, I realize I've never reached out to you to tell you what I do to make money from home. Step 3 is, listen, would you be open, or are you looking to make some extra money from home? If you are, I'm happy to share information. If not, no big deal. Okay. The key elements here is Don't tell them it's a no-brainer. Don't assume that they are looking to make money from home, or that they're hurting, or that they're out of a job. Don't assume that. Don't assume that. See, a lot of people, they shoot themselves in the foot because they'll reach out to someone and say, hey, I bet you're looking to make money from home right now. That might come across as a little insulting. People are weird about money. And so like if you're assuming that they're hurting financially, that could turn someone off. That could have someone say, no, I'm good. They may lie to you, just to like, shoo you away because they maybe they feel, not great about what's going on, and they feel like you assumed. So don't assume, okay? Don't assume. With what's going on, with what I'm gonna do 3 steps, right? With what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home business. Listen, I realize I never told you what I actually do from home to make extra money. Are you open to taking a look at what I do to make extra money from home? And if not, no big deal. Really important piece is the end, if not, no big deal. That takes the pressure off. And notice what I'm actually asking, because some people, they would say, man, this is really getting to the point, isn't it? Yes, it is, which people actually prefer. People prefer people that get to the point, but you're not pushing them. You're not aggressive. You're not assuming. See, if I said, hey, I have a home-based business, is this something you'd want to join? Well, that's assuming too much. They don't know enough information. That's assuming. So don't say, hey, I have a product you really want to buy, or I have something, would you want to join it? That's assuming. They don't have enough information to make that determination. So, what you're asking them really is, are you open to taking a look? And if not, no big deal. Okay. No big deal. That's it. Okay. And so very, very simple. And I've said it a few times. I think someone may have typed it out. But it's, ask yourself, if you're on the receiving end of that, let's say that you hate home business, right? Let's say that you just like, oh, home business, ew, gross, right? I know that's no one on here, but let's just play with me here. And a friend of yours reaches out and says that exact script. Hey, what's going on? I'm focused on productive home-based business. Listen, I realize I never told you what I do from home to make extra money. Would you be open to take a look at what it is that I'm doing to make extra money? And if not, no big deal. Would you be like, I can't believe you said it was okay if I didn't take a look? How dare you? No. You might say no. You might say no. Okay. Now, if they say no, okay, this is the follow-up question, which has a high chance of actual success right now. Normally, I would say not so much. Normally, when network marketers ask for referrals, they don't get any. They say, yeah, I'll get back to you if I think of anyone, or I'll call you if I think of anyone, right? And you don't get any. And so, but now you're either greatly affected by what's going on financially, or people that are. You're either one, most likely both, but you're either one or the other. You have to be. You either are greatly affected by what's going on, or you at least know someone. And so I have never seen so many people generating referrals right now. I've never seen it. And it's because we all know that there's some people in real crisis mode. We all know some people that are really struggling, and we want to help them. We want to, the people, like me that will overtip the Uber Eats person, that will, any delivery person, I'm just like rushing to try to, get them some money, because I appreciate them doing their job. I appreciate them risking it and being out and delivering this stuff, man. And so, there are a lot of people out there that may not be so crushed by what's going on, but know people that are and are sympathetic to that. And so if you say this, I'm going to say it again. With what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home business. Listen, I realize I've never told you what I actually do to make money from home. Would you be open, or are you looking to make some extra money from home? If you are, I'd be happy to share information with you. And if not, no big deal. So I may have said a few words a little differently, but the gist is that, okay? Are you open and taking a look? If not, no big deal. Let's say they say no, which some people will, no matter what you do. There's no way to stop. There's no way to get 100% yes, no matter what anyone ever tells you, okay? No one gets 100% yes. I remember I had a salesperson, a sales trainer that said, I teach people how to get 100% yeses. And I'm like, no, you don't. And they're like, yes, I do. I'm like, well, you've been trying to get me to promote you, haven't you? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, I'm not going to. What happened? What happened to your 100% yes? There is no 100% yes. I can't get 100% yes. You can't get 100% yes. And so they may say no. If they say no, ask this question. Cool, no problem. Do you know anyone that may be looking to make some extra money right now? Ask that question. You'll be surprised. One, you'll be surprised at how many people are open that you probably didn't think were open, and you'll also be surprised that you will actually generate referrals right now. Now, I'm going to give you a second one. Okay, second script. You guys got it? Good. Okay, and so the second script is, and I personally think this is, especially if you've been in the game for a while, and I mean been in the game. There's a difference between I have been in network marketing for 5 years versus you've been in the game. Okay, I know people that, so if you look at my story, okay, I went, my first 6 months of that company, I went for 20 no's a day. Every day before my head hit the pillow, I had to get 20 people tell me no. So I prospected more in 6 months than most people prospect in 5 years, maybe 10 years even, right? So I greatly condensed. The other thing that I did a video a day. I've done a video a day every single day, at least one, most days more, but at least one video a day every day since July 15th of 2009. That's 10 and a half years. But let's just evaluate the first 6 months. First 6 months, that's 180 videos. Most people have never done 180 videos in their career. I did it in 6 months. So I'm a time condenser. I do the activity that some people take years to do, but I did it in 6 months, okay? And so that's what I mean by be in the game. You may have you been a network marketer for 5 years, or have you been in the game for the last year or last 5 years, okay? So I'm just throwing that out there. Those who've been in the game of actually reaching out to human beings and seeing if they're open to what it is that you offer, then this script is magical. It's magic, man. It's incredible. And this was actually the first one that we created. We created it 2 Sundays ago and started, executing it inside of our Rank Makers group, and people started running like crazy with it. And so this is for people who you've prospected in the past and told you no. I believe this is your fastest results that you will get, okay? And so first part of the script, same thing, same exact thing. I told you, it goes across the board. Whatever kind of reach out you're doing, I would say with what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home-based business or home business, whichever one you prefer, okay? With what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home business, okay? Now, this is the part that most people would never come up with. They would just never come up with this, okay? And so it's counterintuitive to people who have not studied persuasion and communications. It sounds like something you would never say, actually, but that's what makes it so powerful, is they're not expecting you to say it. Now, if you reach out to people who've told you no in the past, they're going to see your message or your phone call or something like that, and they're going to say, oh, yeah, here they go with their home business, right? So they're going to assume that either you're calling them to say, hey, probably should have joined my home business, huh? Like in a smug or arrogant way. Don't do that. Doesn't work. Not good for the industry. Not good for society. Nobody likes it. Don't do it, okay? So do not reach out to them and be smug. Oh, I probably should have joined, huh? Don't do that stuff. That will cost you money. It will cost you sales. Don't do it. And also don't assume, right? I'm a huge fan of not assuming. Don't assume that they need to make money. Don't assume that, hey, I bet you're open now. Don't assume that. You don't know that. You can only go on the information that you've ever received from them in the past, which is what? They told you no. They told you no, all right? And so here's what this script, and part 2 is very counterintuitive. Most people would never say this, but it makes it very powerful because they're not expecting it, and it is very powerful, psychologically and power persuasively, okay? So step 1, you know it, I've said it a million times, with what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home business. Listen, I know what I do isn't a fit for you based on what you've said. They are not expecting that line right there. They're expecting you to say, we're blowing it up over here. It's amazing. Everyone's joining. We're career month. They're expecting rah-rah. They're expecting hype. They're expecting you to shoot a t-shirt out of a cannon or toss them a beach ball. They're expecting you to paint some glorious picture and talk about $10,000 a month or something crazy, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. They're expecting that. That is a turnoff to most people. Don't go there. You don't need to, okay? So you can only take the information that you actually have. With what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home business. Listen, I know what I do isn't a fit for you based on what you've said, but do you know anyone that may want to make some extra money from home right now? Okay. And so that is a very persuasive script. With what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home business. Listen, I know what I do isn't a fit for you based on what you've said, but do you know anyone that may want to make some extra money from home right now? Now, your most likely response is that they correct your information, they update your information, and they say, you know what, I would actually like to look at what you guys are doing over there. Like, how does it work? Like, what do I have to do? Like, is there investment? You're gonna, number one response you're gonna get, unless you've done something to piss them off in the past. Like if the last time they told you no, you told them to go to hell, then this is not going to work. So if on the way out of the conversation, you're like, up yours, buddy, right? This isn't going to work. Nothing's going to help that. Okay. So if you were rude to them, arrogant, or you did the whole, what are you going back to your job, just over broke, right? If you did any of that shaming or displayed arrogance, nothing is going to help you. Just don't even bother reaching out to those people unless you're with an apology. If you reach out to them and say, hey, you know what, I've been thinking about things and the way I responded to your no was just totally unacceptable, and I just want to apologize. I hope you and your family are well. That would be a totally separate script. If you have done the arrogant thing, if you have done the, I've seen trainers on stage that they're like, yeah, when someone tells me no, I say, well, what don't you like, making money or helping people? Okay, don't do that. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. Shaming them is not going to move them. All right. So as long as you haven't like totally turned them off and totally been a jerk to them or anything like that, reach out to them with this script. With what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home business. I realize what I do isn't a fit for you based on what you've said, but do you know anyone that may want to make some extra money right now? So your number one response, assuming you haven't turned them off, is they're going to correct your they're going to update your information and say, hey, I might be open right now, man. Tell me a little bit more. How does this work? What's the investment? Where do I go to find more information? And, use your resources, whatever resources that you typically use. The second response, which I've already shared now, but I actually didn't predict this one. And that is you actually will get referrals. I have people that are getting referrals that never get referrals because you're either greatly affected or you know people that are. And so that would be, those are my two scripts that I suggest. You do that, and I think you really will help a lot of people. I think that you'll be very productive because these are very simple. They're not, not complex or anything like that. I thought I had one more thing to share with you here. Just know that there's a lot of people looking, and why don't we take, I think I got about 5 minutes left. Any questions, anything else I can have? So I kind of figured someone would ask this, so I'll go ahead and say it. So I will give you a cold market script. If I have time, Cheryl, do I have time?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So cold market. Now, most people do this completely the wrong way. So, that's what I was going to tell you. My scripts are not designed for existing network marketers. Do not use these on existing network marketers. Okay. I do not teach poaching. I do not teach breaking up other families. I do not teach, how to steal a spouse, right? I don't teach that stuff. I don't teach how to go and rob from some other company. All right. I don't teach that. There are way more non-network marketers than there are network marketers. And so many network marketers have been trained the whole online build rapport stuff, which it just for most people that aren't influencers, it's not very effective. So usually the person teaching almost anywhere is an influencer, and which is fine. It's great. I mean, it's great. It's great to be an influencer. But the problem is, if you're an influencer that doesn't have the distinction that everyone else is not an influencer, then you're probably not a great trainer. And so there's a lot of trainers that they teach from what works for them as an influencer, which is just not going to work for other people. So if you're hearing someone say, you got to build rapport, they got to know, like, and trust you. Are they an influencer, and did they start when they were an influencer? Because if they were, then they may be coming from it a little bit different angle than you. So here's what I know. When you reach out to cold market, which someone asked me about, and we have to be talking about online, right? We have to be, because we're all in home, right? You're hopefully not at a networking meeting, but which brings up a good point. At a networking meeting, it's different, okay? Build rapport at a networking meeting. Remember those things? We used to go to them. It seems like so long ago, but we used to actually go to these things, and we would congregate and high five and shake hands. It was crazy. It was just craziness. That used to happen long ago, far away. Now we're all at home, social media. And so if you're at a networking meeting in the future, hey, what is it that you do? Oh, wow, that's amazing. How'd you get into that? Oh, that's so cool. Great. How long you been doing that, right? So that makes sense. All of how to win friends and influence people, building rapport, know, like, and trust. That makes sense because you're there, they're there, okay? Cold market social media, that doesn't make sense. And here's exactly why. So if you're reaching out to someone that you do not know and it's on social media, there are three things that they're wondering. Do I know you? Why are you reaching out to me? Which that's the one that everyone blows, everyone, okay? Why are you reaching out to me in particular, of all the people in the world? Why are you reaching out to me? And what do you want? Those are the three things. Why do I know this? That's what I think. That's what every person I've ever taught thinks. And I just ask them, I say, hey, if someone you don't know reaches out to you, what is it? Well, I guess I want to know if I know them, and what is it that they want, and what made them reach out to me? Yeah, correct. But how do you reach out to people? Well, I say you have a beautiful family, and I really liked your green bean casserole recipe you shared earlier. Whoa, is that a Pomeranian? Oh, wow, love dogs, right? And so they start with this weird, creepy, build rapport-y kind of thing that puts them in a weird corner of, when do you pop the question? How many great hat you got todays do you have to drop until you're like, hey, oh, by the way, I just thought I should probably talk to you about my home business. I think right now it's even slimier and shadier to attempt to build rapport with the people you don't know on social media, especially as a non-influencer. And I know that this isn't the popular message. I don't care about the popular message. I really don't. I don't care. So people that say, gotta build relationships first. Well, if you're talking cold market on social media, that's actually a very difficult Rubik's Cube. That's actually difficult for most people, because it's not, if the only time you have massive duplication is when you bring in an influencer, then your stuff's broken. It's broken. Who couldn't help an influencer crush it in network marketing? Silly. That's easy. I am talking about influencer. I'm talking about the mattress salesman, the shoe salesman, the person who's never read a book on sales or marketing or business or persuasion or psychology. I'm talking about that person. I'm talking about a person that didn't finish 7th grade because they had to take over their dad's business. Okay, that's who I'm talking about. Someone who does not have influence. If an influencer posts about their breakfast burrito, they get, oh girl, love avocado, man, that's amazing. Oh, you're so cute, right? If non-influencer posts, it's like, dude, like, stop eating already. How fat are you? Like, stop. We don't want to see what you're eating, dude. Like, get to work or something, right? Big difference. So the influencer building rapport is super easy, right? It's like, hey, thanks for following me and stuff. Yeah, no problem. I love your stuff, man. Hey, right? It's just easy. It's silly. But how are you going to weaponize an entire team of 100,000 people? See, our clients, we have clients with teams of 100,000, 300,000, 500,000, and our largest client has 700,000 in their organization. That's our clients that we work with. And so like we understand what it takes to build large teams, not itty bitty teams. So if you want to just build influencers that teach stuff that's non-duplicatable, that's not what we do. All right. So it's actually, with all that being said, it's actually much easier and much more straightforward and not slimy or spammy to just get to the point. Just get to the point. And so this is how I would reach out. And I recruited, I don't know exactly, but I recruited hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that I did not know in the beginning off Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, MySpace. Don't you judge me. Don't you dare judge me. MySpace, TripAdvisor. I mean, I recruited a former, he had actually retired from network marketing, but a former $1 million earner on Twitter that was arguing with me. My buddy Tony, it was awesome. He was arguing with me. I'm like, let's hop on a call. And so that was kind of neat. And so answer those 3 questions as quickly as possible. And then depending on their response, it's actually easy to build rapport after. Easy, okay? So here it is. If I'm reaching out to someone right now that I do not know on social media, okay, I need to answer those 3 questions and I need to bring up the elephant in the room, which is the crisis. So I've already given you that first part. So first part, with what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home-based business. Hey, listen, I know we don't know each other, right? That's, do we know each other? I know we don't know each other. Now you tell me, is that straightforward? Yeah. See, some people, they'll like, oh, beautiful hat today. And I think the other person is wondering, do I know this person? Are they trying to make me think that I know them? Do you know this person? I don't know this person, right? So you're leaving this space, this vacuum for them to respond, do I know you? That's the kiss of death. If you're having cold people say, do I know you? Then you've already lost. You've already lost. You've already taken out the energy of that what could have been a powerful communication, okay? And so with what's going on, I'm focused and productive in my home-based business. Listen, I know we don't know each other, and then it's why them. But I see that you're a real estate agent. We, company-wide, happen to work with a lot of real estate agents to help them make money from home. Would you be open to taking a look at what we do to make extra money from home? And if not, no big deal, okay? And so the entire thing here, with what's going on, I'm focused on productive home-based business. Listen, I know we don't know each other. I see that you are a candlestick maker, butcher, baker, real estate agent. And why do I say the word we? We happen to work with a lot of whatever that occupation is, okay? Why do I say we? Because you may not have them on your team. You may not have a real estate agent in your team, but the company does, okay? So you are using the same system, the same product, same service as everybody else in the company. So you can use the word we. If the company has any chiropractors, waiters, waitresses, bus drivers, hotel managers, flight attendants, et cetera, then you can use the word we, okay? You can use the word we. And so with what's going on, I'm focused on productive home-based business. I know we don't know each other, just being straight with you. I know we don't know each other. I see that you're a real estate agent. We happen to work with a lot of real estate agents to help them make extra money from home. Would you be open to taking a look at what we do to make extra money from home? And if not, no big deal. Now, you're also saying, are you open to take a look? Not open to join, not open to give me your credit card, don't give me your social, not open to purchase a product. It's just, are you open to taking a look? And if you're not, no big deal, okay? If they say no, I would not ask for referrals because it's a cold message. It's a cold, you don't really know each other. I would ask them a question about them. I would actually go into rapport building after I answer those 3 questions that they have in their mind every time you reach out to anyone cold market. So after I answer, do I know you? What do you want? Why me? And if they say no, which some will, guarantee you, and some will say no, I might ask, well, how long have you been in real estate? What kind of real estate do you do? Do you do commercial or residential? What do you like about it? And so a lot of people that told me no initially, I just built rapport after. And at some point they got to it, you know what, when we first met, you mentioned some kind of business, but I really know you. And so like, what was that all about? Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. And so with this approach, you get 2 shots. with almost everyone. Now, if they're super negative or nasty or tell you to go to hell, then I'll probably stop following up with that person. But with most people, you get 2 shots. If they tell you no, you say, cool, okay, no problem. Hey, how'd you become a chiropractor? I've always been interested in that. How long have you been doing that? How you know? Then you could ask them, hey, now that you have that out of the way, that they know like what it is that, you know, why you're reaching out to them, why them. After that, you could ask them, hey, how has the crisis affected you? I'm just curious. Okay. And so I hope this was helpful to you. I believe my time is up. If you like this kind of thing, we do have something that's very, very helpful, and it's free, but it's our 5-day prospecting method. And so if you'd like to, get that, it's free. Just go there and download it. It's at higdongroup.com/5-day, higdongroup.com/5-day. And I'll type it in here just so you guys can see it. And I appreciate Joe. Shout out to my man Joe, who was cranking away, typing out those scripts. That was awesome, man. It'd be very hard for me. I can barely type this, so it'd be very hard for me to do that. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. I hope this was helpful. I'm rooting for you. And just know there's a lot of people out there that really are looking for a solution, and you could really help them right now in this time of crisis. So I hope you do.